Hello, welcome back to 3 Delirium. My name is AJ, and today we have what I hope will be a practical print. You see, I have these figurines that they're called Amiibo, and they work with my Nintendo Switch. Uh, they have little chips in their base called an NFT, and they can send and receive data to and from my Switch. And now, these have all been kind of sitting in my living room, kind of off in a corner on the floor pretty much, just being forgotten and left alone. Let's see if we can find a 3D file that could solve our problem then. All right, quick search on Thingiverse yields exactly what we're looking for. A modular shelf system. This user's name is John Oldman. Thank you very much, John. These are modular walls and joints that fit together to form shelves. That is perfect. But now as I start to print each piece, they are taking quite a while. The walls are just over an hour, and each joint is just under 2 hours. And I've realized that I'm printing them a little too small because they're not going to fit the objects I want to put them in. So I open 3D Builder there, add a section in the middle of the wall pieces because the joints should not need to change, and then we'll try again. And now it's taking even longer to print these walls. Well, I can make them a more coarse layer height, meaning that they'll print a little faster, but it might make them a little bit weaker bearing weight. Now, they don't bear too much weight. These 6 figurines aren't going to take, or don't weigh too much, but each piece bears the weight of the pieces below it. So eventually, if I make a whole bunch of these sections, structural integrity will absolutely play a part. The images on the Thingiverse post show the entire assembly sitting on a desk or on a shelf of its own. But I want to hang this on the wall. So I guess we'll go right back into Microsoft 3D Builder and add a little wall mount onto one of the wall pieces, 2 of the wall pieces, I suppose. And when it comes to printing this part, though, I would like it to print as efficiently as possible with as little support as possible. So I guess that means it'll need to be in the same orientation that I'm printing the walls in. But that is not necessarily going to be the strongest for this most critical part, the place that the melting position that goes into the wall. I guess for this one, I'll have to print it with a more fine layer height. Hopefully, that will add some strength. But it does make these specific 2 walls print even longer. These are almost 2.5 hours each. Well, assembly of these pieces is rather simple. You just take one wall piece, and there's the opposite holes in the joints, and they just kind of fit together and kind of snap like so. Perfect. One on each side. And then there's a nice flush, flat spot in the front. Oh no. These pieces that took me extra long to print, I seem to have put the wall mounting hole on the wrong side. So what I could do is I could make unique joint pieces to accommodate one side of this incorrect wall and then a proper side of all the rest of the walls. All right, so back into Microsoft 3D Builder. It just takes a little bit of editing on this. There we go. I can even add super glue to this part since these won't be removed to reshape or anything like that. All right. Now that that's done, this whole process has taken a few more days longer than I expected, but everything's done now. Here, I can just start assembling everything. So I originally intended to make 8 individual compartments, not just 4. And then I could display one item in each and have some room to grow as well. But each of these pieces took a little longer than I expected, which made the whole project as a whole take a lot longer than I expected. So it wasn't quite as efficient as what I was looking for originally. I can absolutely see this project better suited for maybe a different tool. Like instead of a 3D printer, maybe a laser cutter with MDF pieces or medium density fiberboard. That might be a bit more straightforward. I wouldn't even need joint pieces in that regard. I could just cut each piece to fit together. But this is what I have at hand, and this seems to have worked pretty well. Uh, I don't even mind the color combination. Like it matches my wall pretty closely. It is a bit of a sag as I hang things here, which is why I chose to use the 2 outer, uh, but not completely on the outside walls to hold it up on to be all the support. And then I can easily put figurines on both the top and inside as well. It doesn't have to be in its own compartment. But what do you think? Do you know of a better process that I could have used or should have tried? Any other shelving techniques that maybe you've tried yourself? Maybe you've worked with MDF. Let me know down in the comments down below. And an extra special thanks to John Oldman on Thingiverse for the original post of this file. But thank you for joining me here on 3 Delirium Printing, where we all can hallucinate about the possibilities of 3D printing. I'll catch you next time.